What's going on, guys? Welcome to an infinite ammo discussion for the episodic discussion for Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which is not a word. I'm going to be hosting this one. I'm, of course, Captain Chaos, and I'm going to go down the line of introductions here. With us, as always, we have Renegade Operative. If Renegade wants to unmute himself for like a second.
Oh, I'm Renegade. I'm here.
I guess he won't.
Oh, you're okay. Oh, I'm Renegade. Oh.
Not as gay as naked riding in a wind tunnel.
Nah, that's the best part. We can though.
Oh, I'm Renegade.
All right, so next up we have Iron Hayabusa.
Yo, what's going on, people?
Awesome. And then of course next on our list is I don't know how the fuck do you say it? Ebullient Evan.
Ebullient
Evan.
Ebullient.
Start playing the communism song.
Another made-up word like Revengeance.
It's not a made-up word. It's real. You uneducated swine.
It was a joke, fool.
Alright, cool. Next up we have Inferno Dragon.
Nanomachine, son.
Yeah. Why the fuck does everybody choose now to message me? Anyways. And last but not least we have Brandon.
Get AIDS.
Go to Africa,
I'd
get
rather
AIDS.
not.
Go to Wakanda,
I'd
get
rather
AIDS.
not.
No, it's called Ebola Chaos. Get it straight.
Ebola Sean.
I'd rather not.
Alright.
Not get a CGH.
Okay, so I think we should probably get started here. I'm just gonna have my Discord so my Discord isn't fucking going off. Just have it up on the other screen. Alright, here we go. So let's get right into this document. We've got a series of questions here regarding Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. I'm just gonna pick a random one, and then we're gonna just do what we usually do, have everybody give their opinion on it. Okay, so shit. I guess we should just probably start with the first one. Number one, how did you initially hear about Metal Gear Rising? What got you invested into the concept of this game? I'll go ahead first since I asked the question. I can't even remember how I found out about Metal Gear Rising. I think I saw, like, I heard about the game. I saw other people do playthroughs of it. I played the Metal Gear series in a really weird order. Like, I started with, I think I started with Metal Gear Solid 4, actually, which is, like, supposed to be the end. And I played that. And then I went to, like, some of the other games, like 3. And yeah, it kind of went in that weird order. So, and then I played Revengeance, and Revengeance was different from every other Metal Gear game in that it's not a stealth game. It's more like a hack and slash, but it's like a stylized hack and slash action game. And I think I really loved the game when I first played it because I liked the way the combat system worked. The whole, like, Zaibatsu thing, or whatever, the Zendatsu, not Zaibatsu, Zendatsu. I like that about it. There's not really any other game that does something like that, where, like, you have these, it slows down time and you can, like, slash everything all precise. I've never really seen another game do anything like that, so I really like the idea behind it. I actually do remember when I first played it. I first played it as a PS3 demo, I think, before it even came out, and I did not get around to actually playing the full game until much, much later down the line. But I had seen people play the game, and yeah, I thought it was a really great game. It's Platinum Games really delivered with it. I thought that combat was great. It provided just the right amount of challenge and had an interesting story that could stand on its own and also be connected to the Metal Gear Solid other Metal Gear Solid games, but and it also kind of redeemed Raiden to an extent, because before this game we kind of, well, actually no, we did, he wasn't 4, so I guess it kind of expanded on that whole idea of him being a fucking ninja in 4. But as far as I remember, he was just introduced in 2, and not a lot of people liked him in 2. And then in 4 he came around and was like a fucking ninja all of a sudden. And then Rising just kind of expanded on that concept. So yeah, I thought it was a great game just all around. Also had a really great villain that I think that one of the worst parts of the game actually is that the main villain really isn't even showed up until like near the end of it. All the other villains are memorable. I think that's a good thing, but their appearances are very brief, and I think that's kind of it's kind of a shame. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts on the game. If anybody else wants to go,
I thought it was awesome because honestly, I loved Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 4. I don't want to do like. Are we allowed to do spoilers? Because I don't want to like ruin someone's experience.
I think so because I already. Well, I didn't spoil anything. But... Okay,
because Metal Gear Solid 4 is by far my favorite Metal Gear game, and it was freaking awesome. Besides Phantom Pain, which was on a different level. But I didn't like how Raiden didn't get enough plot. Like enough plot to where he can be fully understood as his own character. But in this game, I actually liked it a lot because he fully got an in-depth like backstory and everything. And I loved Raiden. He's one of my favorite characters besides Snake himself.
Yeah.
I'll go next. Yeah, just like you, Chaos. I actually started from Metal Gear Solid 4, which is still probably one of my favorite Metal Gear games. That is not Rising. And then I worked my way to the HD collection and playing the first game and then this one. How did I got the game? I heard about it because, during the time the whole DMC debacle, this was going on at the same time. So I managed to come around to seeing the advertisement and people throwing shots at DMC by using this game. And then I eventually got around to playing the PS3 demo, which, some people can get good at the parry system, like one individual, but that's another topic. So yeah, I have gotten the game like much later, which was like $10 because I couldn't afford it at $60 at launch. And since then, I almost platinumed the game though, but unfortunately, I can't go back to play it now. I regret not getting the platinum.
Okay.
I'll go next. The way I heard about the game, I think I saw a review of it, and I liked what I saw basically, and eventually I ended up going out and buying the game. I loved it. I enjoyed a lot of it. I'm gonna agree with Chaos actually. I felt like some of the villains got no build up and such, and some of them were memorable, like Monsoon, but some of them were a bit iffy and weren't really that memorable, in my opinion.
Yeah. Good.
Well, I heard about it through YouTube. And I like the concept of just slashing things a lot, because I like swords.
Well, you should do a lot of slashing.
And I'm like, take my money.
What a weirdo.
Alright.
Swords are cool, damn it.
Yeah, especially the ones you use in the game. Okay. So I guess
you split a freaking Metal Gear right wide open.
Okay, so if somebody wants to take the next question, they can. I think we do have the document up.
Okay,
yeah, I have it.
Yes, the next question. Okay. Alright. Let me find one that's a really nice one.
Yeah, I got read for number 2.
What is your favorite / least favorite mechanic in this game? Well, my favorite is... I've actually seen multiple games that have the slowdown time effect. Fallout, GTA with the first character's ability, and some other games like that. And that's what I kind of like in those kinds of games, especially when you have to slash them up, and then once time restores back to normal, it's all instant, and it looks badass, in my opinion. My least favorite mechanic, it didn't have enough sneaking, in my opinion, to be a really good Metal Gear. It has to have a lot of sneaking to be a good Metal Gear game.
Yeah. I don't know, I kind of like that it wasn't a stealth game for one. Actually, didn't the first level kind of try to get you to sneak around or something, as far as I remember, that you could, they kind of wanted you to sneak around the guards, but
Yeah,
I think it was like
tried,
optional.
but yet
Yeah.
It wasn't like completely, like they stopped after a little bit after trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were stall sections, but it was never the main focus of the game.
Not even close.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, that's what I didn't like
about
about the game, though, is it was a little bit misleading and trying to make you think you could just sneak, but not really.
Not enough sneak.
Yeah. All right.
All right, who's next?
Anybody can go.
All right, no problem. Like we all just unanimously agreed, the least favorite part is the sneaking, or should I say, well, lack thereof. It's a hack and slash. Like, what's the point of sneaking? They're just gonna make you fight more things by the end of it all anyway.
He's a ninja. He's supposed to be sneaky and slash.
Well, too bad he's Cyborg Ninja, and a very loud one at that. I don't know Raiden for being quiet. Not anymore, anyway.
Especially since you can really quickly, like, sprint around the area.
So, contrary to popular belief, ninjas do not run with their arms behind their backs.
I still think you earn more points.
As for the good mechanic, I'm gonna just be a cheap shot and say Ripper mode.
I guess, yeah, I would definitely go with least favorite being just the definitely the sneaking, or the slight sneaking they make you think you can do in the game. That I can't be entirely sure, but I do remember there were segments like that, and I did not like them, mostly because it was kind of shoehorned in there, it felt like. But yeah, I mean, I think my favorite mechanic would definitely just have to, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the popular opinion in that, you know, the main draw of the game being the Zandatsu thing, where you just hack everything to pieces and grab the grab one of its fucking organs or something, just fucking destroy
It's
it.
like Mortal Kombat fatalities.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I mean, you do that multiple times in the game, but it just never really feels like it gets old or anything. So yeah, I would have to go with that being my favorite thing about it, or at least my favorite mechanic.
It's pretty the same thing you guys saying. The most favorite, cutting dudes up, taking their hearts out. Least favorite, the stealth. Although I eventually got used to the stealth because I knew what the enemy pattern is, so I just went in, kill them, got your points, call it a day.
Pretty much the same thing, actually. Zandatsu is my favorite, and the stealth is my favorite.
All right. Anybody who hasn't gone yet? Okay. Going once, going twice. All right, so somebody can pick the next question if they want. Doesn't matter which one you choose.
I'll pick. How did you feel about the story of this game, especially compared to other Metal Gear Solid titles? Well, that's a pretty easy one. It is not as big, it is not as serious, and it is not as Jesus Christ heavy on the themes.
Yeah.
You have villains, you have an objective, you go there, you slash things, you find out a couple of things here and there, you can see some returning characters right here, and by the end of it all, you rip up a guy's heart out because nanomachines. And, you know, I tell you all, this isn't my sword. We don't have anything about, like, you know, digital control or war. Is this and that government censorship or the S3 plan, or good God, Metal Gear Solid 2 story is
Metal Gear Solid 2's story, from everything I heard about it, sounds like it was too ambitious for its own good.
It was trying to be 1984, but with sneaking sections.
Yeah.
It was a mind fuck. It was a mind fuck.
Oh, that is the best way to describe it. Actually, no, I'm not gonna lie. And damn it, Ren, I see that. And don't even get me started on Metal Gear Solid 4, the greatest movie of our time.
The Patriots.
Metal Gear.
Pitch it.
War is hell.
I guess I'll go ahead with how I felt about the story. The story was like, it was like the game itself. It was a good break from everything we're used to with Metal Gear. The story, instead of being like taking itself real seriously, like Metal Gear, at least at some point, doesn't take itself all that seriously, but you know what I mean, for the most part, taking itself really seriously. It kind of it was much more straightforward. It didn't really give a fuck in terms of things really making sense. It just kind of, and I think it was better for it. It didn't really try to shoehorn it, or just put a ton of political messages or anything in there. It was just, you're trying to get, you're going after this guy. It's not really anything other than it's not convoluted in any way. It's very straightforward. So I think that's the best part about it. But yeah, it's I mean, a lot of people do like Metal Gear for that's political commentary or just social commentary stuff. But I think that Metal Gear Rising was, while it did have some of that in there, it wasn't like overbearing, and it was just fine for what it was. Its story wasn't trying to be like really epic or much more than that. So I think that's where I think in particular, like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 5, from what I played of 5, it just tried way too hard to be much more than it's tried to be way too much at once. But Metal Gear Rising just didn't really feel that way, which was fine. So I liked the story. I thought it was fine.
I'm gonna agree with that, actually. I thought it was fine. It got the job done, it gave you an objective. It gave you pretty much everything you needed, you have a reason to go this, there, anywhere. You have a reason to take these guys down, etc. It got the job done, and it was good enough for me, in my
As far as story is concerned, I wish it was just longer. I think they could have like panned out the game a little bit more, because it was tapping too short, even for the story as well.
Yeah, if there is one thing I would comment on in that sense, is that the point that I brought up earlier about the villains being a little bit like not getting a lot of screen time, I feel like the game could have benefited from maybe developing them a little bit more. They were memorable because of their abilities and because of just their general appearance and the way they acted, but there are some of them that really just got shafted in terms of any sort of character development or anything like that. They were there and then they were gone like really quick. So I felt like, if the game were longer, it could have definitely benefited from that. I guess it's just a detriment of the game being too short.
And they could have used they could have padded out the game a little bit by giving more of the villains some backstory and stuff.
Yeah. Anybody else have any opinions about the story? No?
Nope, all good. I think we can move on.
All right. Who hasn't asked a question yet? Brandon, you want to go?
Next. Well, fuck it, I'll go. We just reading from any order. Right?
Yeah, just any of them. Ren, could you mark out some of the ones we've done already? I don't think I have the ability to do that on here.
We did 13, 1. What else did we do?
I think we did one regarding the story.
12.
12.
12, 13, and 1.
Yeah. Just mark through those.
I'm going to choose a random number, and someone asked the question. I choose number 4.
I was going to pick number 4, actually, but... okay, what is your favorite and least favorite weapon or ability in Metal Gear Solid Rising? Metal Gear Rising. Okay, well, my favorite was definitely going to be Sam's sword, because that weapon is so overpowered, it's godly. As far as my least favorite, I will say Monsu's electromagnetic side, because I never use it as much personally, because I never find use for it. And I never found it's not for combo potential, it wasn't for me, which is why I used the other weapons over that one.
I'm trying to remember the weapons in that game.
Box blade.
I remember, like, don't you get one from the woman you fight? I think she was the first boss.
Yeah, Mistral's on.
Mistral, yeah. I think you get one from her. I remember not really caring for that.
You do.
It was actually a really good weapon, though.
Was it? I don't think I ever used it.
Well, I
Yeah,
have
actually, one of
two
those.
main weapons in my opinion to be the best. For regular guards and in Revengeance mode, it would be the Fox Blade because you can just slice through them like butter with
Oh
that.
yeah, right. I think I do remember that. I remember you could get different costumes too. Can you like? Cause I
Well,
think
all you do is the best way to do it is just you do ninja run plus square them. But for bosses, my choice would be for that weapon would be the Muramasa because it is so much stronger.
It's so OP. You can chip
I think
right
I
through
might
the
have used
bones,
that
so-
actually. That sounds familiar. I know like I wore like the gray fox costume when I unlocked it, and I used like I might have been Muramasa. I'm not sure. But I think it
Muramasa
was
is
like
the
a late
red
game
one.
weapon.
Yeah, the Muramasa is the red weapon.
I think it's Murasama, and I think that's Sam's weapon.
Yeah, I might have. I think I might have used Sam's weapon. I don't know about my least favorite though. I can't remember the weapons I used in that game.
My least favorite would probably be the long sword. I don't think it's that strong at all.
The longsword? What sort
The
of
high frequency long sword.
Oh,
the base
right,
sword?
that one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Let me see if I get an image.
It was basically a little less than the basic blade you would first get.
Okay. My favorite weapon was Sam's sword, pretty much. My least favorite, pretty much every other one, because I didn't use anything else. I didn't like any of the combos for the other ones, so I just stuck with the sword.
Yeah, I think for a
Like,
lot of the game, I might have stuck with like the standard, the base weapon. I know I did customize it later, but yeah, like for the most part, I stuck with like the base sword.
Yeah, because I didn't like that Sundowner's weapon was too slow. The sides were useless, in my opinion. And Mistral's, the sword was better. The sword had combos that I liked way more. I just stuck with the sword.
Yeah, for
Okay.
Mistral, I just use it in tandem with the Murasama HR sword. Just most of the time I stuck with the Murasama sword, to be honest.
All right, so I think we pretty much answered that question.
I think the general consensus is Sam's sword.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
whatever's not Sam's sword can go inside the trash can.
Basically. All right, so
What happened to my playthroughs?
I guess I'll probably ask this question. Number 6, how do you feel about the quality of music orchestrated in this game? And this is the question I really wanted to get to because I fucking love this game's music.
Yes.
I think this is one of the most memorable games I've played, mostly because of the music. Well, not mostly, but like for a big reason for the game being memorable is just because of the choice of music. Because each boss has their own unique theme, and then every time you alert an enemy or you fight an enemy, you get like rules of nature or something. Like almost all these songs are like recognizable by most people who've played the game, and even some people who haven't even played the game know it just because it's become like especially the rules of nature thing has like become a meme, so people know what it is. But I think the music is fucking amazing. It's some of the best I've heard for a video game, and it's really fitting. Makes you feel like a total badass, and makes the fights just so much more exhilarating. Because you just have this speed metal playing in the background while you're hacking up dudes, and it's just fucking amazing. I love the music in this game, so I don't know, that's my opinion on it. I think all the songs are good. I don't think I dislike any of it. I think the only thing about it, the music, is that maybe somebody that doesn't really care for that type of music might not care for it, but as far as I know, most people who've played the game really like the music. So, yeah. I don't know. That's my opinion on it, though.
I agree with that. I thought the soundtrack was really good. It fits a lot of the tone, I guess.
It also,
I'd
like,
say-
I also want to point something out when in regards to what Ren said, is that it kind of seems like it syncs up to, like, certain if you're in a certain phase in a boss fight, first you just hear like the instrumental version of the song, and then when you get further on in a boss fight, it actually the lyrics come in, and I think that's like I like how it kind of like it does that, like it feels like it's an organic part of the boss fight.
Yeah, it syncs up based on your action on the boss. Like beginning instrumental, middle it begins to heavy on instruments, then end the lyrics.
Yeah, the lyrics. Yeah, because like for example with the Metal Gear Ray at the beginning of the game, once you do the button prompt to like once it's at 0.1 life and you do the button prompt, the lyrics will start kicking in.
Yeah. It's pretty
Which
weird.
I like that touch. I like that touch, to be honest.
Okay.
10 out of 10 would buy again.
Would buy it with the song.
Sorry, but when I listen to something like Rules of Nature, like Collective Consciousness, Only Thing I Know for Real, or fucking now what's the one for It Has to Be This Way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Final
it's
boss.
I'm just like, yeah, I definitely put this on hyper blast on my speakers and just let the residents shake and the neighborhood earthquake. Sorry, y'all, just blasting some good MGR music.
You know what? I'm
Deal with it.
Soundtrack after this podcast is over. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
The music's so damn good, though. I can't get enough of it.
Way ahead of you.
agreed.
No, if anything, MGR should have won Music of the Year. As well as like Video Game Awards or whatever.
No, yeah, I
The
definitely
music's
agree
so
with
good.
that.
Oh, it's a top contender any year.
True.
Okay. So we mostly answered that question. I'm guessing so. Okay. So next question, if somebody wants to choose from the document.
Please choose 7. Please choose 7.
I'll pick. And
All right.
I'll choose 7.
Yeah.
Just for random. Just for random. I'll read it off, I guess. How do you feel about how Metal Gear Rising handled playing defensively in this game, like the parry system requiring 2 specific commands, square plus left stick in the direction of the attack? Whoever wants to go first.
I guess I'll go.
Actually,
Um,
can you like add on to that with number 8 if you feel like reading that off?
Alright, I'll read number 8 as well. To add on to that, Angry Joe believed you were near invincible on normal difficulty just from routine blocking, so Konami made the parry window shorter across the board with every difficulty, as a result from a new patch. What are your thoughts on that update and Joe's opinion?
are we gonna answer? I think we should answer number 7 first, and then we'll do number 8.
It's like a two-parter at this point.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it's the first.
I'll go with number. I'll answer numbers. I'll answer this first. So in regards to number 7, I liked the idea of a of square and left stick. I think it's fairly unique. Like I've never really seen a game do something. I mean, it's same with the Zendatsu. I thought it was fairly original the way the game handled parry. Because like I know that you needed to basically, like, they would have certain bosses that, you know, you would need to use a move quite often. Like the game would kind of try to teach you these moves with some of the bosses. Like, for example, with parry, it would be like Monsoon, because Monsoon comes at you from all these different directions, and you have to parry him every time. So the game really like nails into your head how the parry works. And I like the parry. I think that, you know, like, because when Monsoon attacks you, you need to time the parry just right so you can parry the attack. And, you know, like, I like that about that fight and how it really taught you how to parry. So I thought the parry system was pretty great. What was it? 7? Okay, so Angry Joe, or Angry Jose.
His Pablo.
I don't know about normal difficulty, honestly. I can't really speak on that because I don't think I played on normal. I think I played on hard or something.
Oh, try hard.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
look at
always
this
play the
man,
game.
balls.
I'm not. Well, I don't know. I'm not. I don't remember if I played it on. I think I probably play it on hard because I know I play like almost every game on hard.
Mr. Trotter over here and acting all big and bad. I'm kidding.
Konami made the parry window shorter. I don't know about this new patch though. Like I feel like I can't really answer that because I don't know if I played the new patch.
Okay. Well, let me tell you like this. Like before, when the game came out though, the parry system was actually a lot less strict. The reason why they changed it in a later patch because of Angry Joe's mention about it in his review, saying how I think how OP it was.
That's pretty ridiculous that one reviewer can cause that to happen, or just influence the developer to create an update where they do that.
Maybe you should rant about.
That's
EA
fun. That's really weird to
microtransactions.
me that Konami listens to Angry Joe out of all people about anything.
I'm more surprised Konami actually listened to someone else.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking to me actually. I don't know. It sounds. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't really see the point of that. I think Joe is just. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if that's his opinion, that's fine. I just don't know why the hell it would. I mean, maybe unless he went like directly to Konami and is like, hey, look, you need to change this, you know. But if he just said in a review and for some reason Konami got wind of it and decided, oh, hey, well, we better change it to cater to this guy, this one guy that doesn't like it, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I don't really agree with that. I mean, because I don't really know if there was anybody else complaining about it. I mean, unless there's a ton of people complaining about it, in which I doubt it. But
I heard no one complain about the parry
yeah, it
window
sounds
whatsoever.
really ridiculous to change it based on the complaints of like a minority or even just one fucking person in this case, which is
of an angry Mexican.
Yeah, I mean, even I know the reason probably must be is because, you know, of the following he has, but it's like I said, it still is just one person complaining. So yeah, it baffles the fuck out of me. So I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, at least when I played it, I didn't really have any issues with it. So I don't know.
I definitely noticed it when you're fighting against Monsoon, because beforehand though, Monsoon was actually relatively, it was much more smoother to parry him. Now the parry system is so strict to the point where you are almost guaranteed to get hit, even if you know you tapped the button on time. That's how bad it's gotten.
So Joe is arguing for artificial difficulty then, because the game was fine before, but now we have to artificially inflate the difficulty to make it hard and make it seem hard.
So yeah, going for no damage, you gotta play the game unpatched at that point.
Sounds like bullshit.
Or Joe could just, I don't know, play it on auto.
Yeah.
If he really wants to freaking
Stop
like,
playing games
get
on
his,
normal like a fucking normie.
if he really wants to get his ass kicked over the border, he should probably play Revengeance difficulty.
Oh, he won't do that.
Yeah, no.
You should live stream that. I'd be there.
It's in live streaming him throwing his controller across the room.
Rages in his skin.
Imagine Joel pulling Raging Storm.
Angry Alejandro. That should be the subtitle.
Damn it, Jose, you ruined it for us all.
Enraged Enrique. Alright.
Let's give him a quesarito, make it all better.
Alright, enough of this. I'm gonna answer the 7 and 8. So, with the parry system, I felt it worked really well. It was simple enough to where, you know, you weren't forgetting it easily, and not to mention the boss fights, like with Monsoon, helped you learn it. The only like minor complaints I have with it, sometimes it wouldn't come up with me, like it wouldn't come out at all, even when I was sure that I had done it. I don't know, that only happened every once in a while though, so it didn't affect me too much. And every time it happened, I wasn't near death, so I didn't really care. But when it comes to Angry Joe and the whole Konami thing, the update wasn't necessary. I think Joe's full of shit. I didn't really find that you were near invincible. I still got hit plenty of times. Still died a couple times too in my first playthrough. So I don't know. That's just what I think.
All right. Does anybody else not answer the question yet?
Well, anyhow, it just, I mean, it works fine. It works fine. It's easily accessible. I mean, it's not hard to press square and then the left stick. I mean, you're already pressing buttons like mad anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I could agree with that.
And as for Angry Joe, like, hey, dude, if you really think you're near invincible on normal difficulty, then how about you play on hard mode? You ever think of that, Boyo?
Shush.
Normal for the normies.
I have an irrational thought.
You see, difficulty selection is a thing, you know. They're made so that way, you know, developers can kick your ass in one end, but actually make it playable for some people who just cannot play games for the life of them on the other end. So, they made those for a reason. So if you really want to artificially inflate it with your goddamn your refusal to actually challenge yourself, then yeah, get good.
Challenge himself.
That's just how it works, man.
He challenges himself to get over to the McDonald's on time.
Like seriously, dude. If you think it's too easy, then just raise the goddamn difficulty. We have difficulty selects for a reason.
Oh yeah, chaos, not McDonald's, Taco Bell.
No, yeah, Taco Bell.
Like
No challenge there.
Authentic Mexican food.
Like plain and simple, just raise the damn difficulty.
Yeah, I don't know why that's hard. I mean, hell, instead of raising the difficulty, maybe I'll just complain to a developer and they'll artificially inflate the difficulty in the next patch.
You should play Ninja Gaiden. I'd love to see him play.
Yeah,
that.
let's have them artificially inflate the difficulty for Ninja Gaiden.
Which one, the 3D or NES?
Either.
Yeah.
Either. NES games because I know more about them.
Yeah, Ren, you got a point on that one. Either one just kicks your ass.
All right.
Ninja Gaiden 1 2 is easy for me, for the most part.
I hear like
played
2 is like either way too easy or too hard, like depending on the difficulty you choose.
Ninja Gaiden 2 360 or NES?
360.
Yeah, that's dependent on difficulty. Master Ninja
that's
is
the one
a
I
pain in
have.
the ass.
Master
Master Ninja is a pain in the ass.
Master Ninja is like, you might as well just put a gun to your face.
Pretty much.
Suicide
Renegade 3
Simulator.
3 on the NES is the only one I haven't beaten Renegade. I will beat it at some point. Don't
That's
worry.
okay. Ironically, ninjas do blow themselves up in Ninja Gaiden, so you're not wrong on Suicide Simulator.
Oh yeah, I do. I think I do remember that. Okay, so we should probably move on. Okay, who should take Inferno? Do you want to take a question? I don't think you've taken one.
Yeah, I'm looking. And actually, it's just good topic because number 11. What are your thoughts on the difficulty levels of Metal Gear Rising? Did you believe it was balanced enough or unfair? As they kept going, they kept the curve to what it really was. I mean, you have your normals, which is it's fine. Then you got hard. You better actually be good at the game. And Revengeance, I hope you know how to dodge or parry or anything. Just don't get hit. Revengeance is basically just, have you mastered the game? No. Fair to suffer. You picked this. You did this upon yourself. There's no anything unfair on something called the hardest difficulty. I mean, again, honestly, it's up to you.
You're asking for the challenge at that point.
Yeah. It can't really be unfair if you pick the hardest difficulty. Because at that point, you're just asking for it if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think the difficulty was fine. I never had any problems with it. I think it was there's definitely a difficulty spike near the end, but that's expected. Like I thought it was just the right amount of challenging, so I don't know where fucking Jose here is coming from. I felt like everything was fine in terms of difficulty, but yeah, if I played it in Revengeance, I'd probably get my ass handed to me if I played it in Revengeance mode. Because I don't know if I've totally mastered the game, but yeah, I mean, it is, like you said, the hardest difficulty, so I'd say everything is mostly fair in that game. It's just expect the challenge if you want to play it on the harder difficulties, which, you know, is how games should be. So
Now, if you were taking one shot hits in, like, say, normal, then we'd have a problem, but that's not the case.
yeah.
Imagine that crap. It'd be
Is
like,
Devil May Cry 3.
yeah, that's what to say, like PS2 Devil May Cry 3.
Okay.
Alright, so can we move on to the next question?
Okay. Hold up, I got a good question. Hold up. What was your first reaction when you saw Senator Armstrong, number 14? Be brutally honest.
Oh boy.
Funny.
Okay, when you first see, oh man, it was so funny. It's like if you put up a picture of him before you actually see the rest of his body, he looks like a normal, like, chubby businessman. But then once he actually gets ready for a fight, he turns into like a WWE fighter.
Could have gone pro.
Like, he's ready to rumble. He looks like a version. He looks like he could be a skin for Doomfist in Overwatch.
Shit. I remember I spoiled myself as to Senator Armstrong before I beat the game, just because, like, I think I watched a video about, or like playthrough of it, and yeah. So when he showed up, I wasn't too surprised, but yeah, I will say I love Senator Armstrong's character just because he's just so, like, he's so completely over the top ridiculous, and it just feels, it really does feel fitting for the game because the game itself is completely over the top and ridiculous. So Senator Armstrong is just like the icing on the cake almost. Like, he shows up and he's just this, he's like your typical politician, you know, like Metal Gear Solid has always had, like, you know, these politicians and everything, but he's different in that he's completely fucking roided up, and the reason for it is because he played college football, and or just nano machines too. But still, that it's just, he's the most ridiculous character, and I just wish that he's just one of those villains that did not get hardly any fucking development or anything at all, because he just shows up at the end and he's there and you fight him, and yeah, and that's it. I think he does get more screen time in, like, the DLC, but in the main game it's like he's barely there, so it's just such a shame.
To see that they're gonna make a prequel of this prequel just for Senator Armstrong.
Yeah, because he was just such a great character. I would definitely like to see more of him.
Well, speaking of seeing more of him, I'm going to show you an image.
Oh yeah, and he's also a meme too. So there's that.
There you go. There you go.
No.
Wait, is he part of the Ginyu Force now?
Yes.
Toku Senpai Ginyu Force rules.
Don't fuck with this senator.
Oh man, that was amazing. Next question.
Does anybody else have any opinions on Armstrong?
He's a cuck, so I mean, what's there to say?
He's a cuck. Okay, straight into
He seems
that.
like
Wow.
the exact opposite of that, though.
Look,
Alright.
Chaos. He's a cuck, okay?
Okay. Alright, another one. We have like about 5-6 questions left. Let's just go straight to the last one to close out this podcast.
Jesus Christ.
Straight to the last
Actually, let's do number 2, because number 2 is a fucking long question. Let's get that out of the way.
Alright.
Here we go.
You read it.
Are you familiar with the history of Metal Gear Solid Rising? Hideo Kojima originally planned for this game to be a prequel to Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, that had Raiden saving Sonny, showing him why he automated himself in the first place. Okay, so yes, that is my favorite game, Metal Gear Solid 4, my favorite Metal Gear game. Because I loved it when he was able to stop an entire fucking ship that is like all with just him planting his sword down and acting as that tiny little barricade, which was one of the most badass like video shots ever.
I guess it would
And-
make sense that it's a prequel considering he's a ninja in both of those games.
It's a story I would have liked to
There's no-
see.
It was
More in the
great.
question, by the way.
Yeah, there is a second part to it.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just read that. This concept focuses on the same cut what you will mechanic at a much slower pace, 30 frames a second. Human enemies were also going to be planned, as well as destructive environments to hurt cyborgs and humans. Kojima Productions eventually couldn't finish the game without Kojima's influence. What do you think of Metal Gear Rising, and do you think some of the scrapped elements should have carried over? Especially the huge storyline change from a prequel to a sequel to Metal Gear Solid 4. I can like I said earlier, I can understand the prequel aspect of it, considering that Raiden was a ninja type character in both of those games. But I think it works as a sequel too. I think a prequel would have been okay because it did seem like they were trying to explain some of the elements of 4 that didn't seem to make sense when you first played the game, or just some things didn't really add up. So I think that was I don't know. I mean, I think it could have worked as a prequel, but I mean, it being a sequel works too, considering the story for the most part, like I've said before, it's mostly a spin-off game. You don't really have to play it. It makes references to some of the events of Metal Gear, but it doesn't really have any, as far as I'm concerned, like any real major connection to the to like the Metal Gear Solid games, aside from just being Raiden fighting these dudes. And I mean, that's aside from that, there's really not much else as far as I remember. So I think it works fine the way it is right now. I think that the decision they eventually made to turn the game into what it is was probably for the best. So I mean, it's always interesting to theorize as to what a game could have been. But I think that what we have now is perfectly fine. I think it's a great game. So I think that the scrap concepts, it's a shame they couldn't have made their way into the game, but the way it all came together in the end, it worked out for the best. So it's a shame they couldn't have been included, but I think that the way the game is now is fine. I think maybe if they ever wanted in the future, wishful thinking, if they ever made a sequel, then some of those concepts maybe could be carried over. So that's my opinion on it.
To get my thoughts on it, nothing wrong with it being a prequel if they actually went that route. My problem is the design of the character of Raiden himself. If this was going to be a prequel, then why does he look far more bulkier and stronger than he does in Metal Gear Solid 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my problem was concept designs of Raiden. That designs of him being
Was
so
that
much bulkier,
was he
faster.
like maybe was his character, because I know I've seen some of the early like development footage for the early builds of the game. Was it because they changed his character model significantly after they?
Yeah, what you see in Rising right now, what Revengeance was going to be used in Metal Gear Solid Rising. But the problem is that it's a prequel to 4, and at 4 he's nowhere near as strong as he is in Rising. I mean, Revengeance. So how are they going to correlate that though? So design-wise for Raiden, it does not make sense for it to be a prequel. So ultimately, it was a smart move to scrap it and make it as a sequel. So they would need to scale back Raiden as a character and his strength level as a character and design to fit what he was in 4.
I mean, there could have been scrapped story elements to maybe explain why he looks different. But yeah,
Not to mention the whole Sunny rescue, which we never really get an explanation about.
Yeah, there are
all.
like I said, there are some things in 4 that are kind of just, there are certain plot points that you feel like something should have happened before Metal Gear Solid 4 that just are kind of left up in the air. So a prequel of sorts would have been good, I think, but I also think it's something we can easily do without. So I don't know.
Yeah, it being prequel part would have been fine. Just designs and concepts didn't make sense as far as it being a prequel. That was the main problem.
Yeah.
But they could have just easily they could have done like explanations like how did he save Sonny, how he became a cyborg, this and that. That would have been perfect as a prequel story. But unfortunately, we'll never see it due to what's going on now.
Well, does anybody else have any opinions?
I just would have liked if they had carried over the whole cut what you will thing. I think that would have been nice.
Oh yeah, right. The destruct. Yeah, I didn't even mention. I like the ideas of the destructible environments, but I don't know if there's a reason they couldn't have kept that. But the main game mechanic of just cutting everything up is in and of itself is fairly unique, and I think it's fine. I don't know how they would have implemented the destruction mechanic, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if it really would have benefited the game much to have that in there. So, I mean, it would have been interesting to have, but you know, it's fine if they don't have it. I don't really. I mean, if maybe like I said, if they ever do a potential sequel or any sort of follow up to the game, that's something they could maybe consider for the sequel. But I just don't know if they will. No, especially since we don't know if they ever will do a sequel.
It's modern Konami. I don't expect really much.
Yeah, we also have to take into consideration that who owns the Metal Gear license and all that. So
yeah, it's unfortunate that it's pretty much held hostage over there. That they're freaking
Kojima wouldn't have any sort of creative control over any future iterations of Rising, and it would mostly just fall to Platinum Games to try to handle most of it, and Konami for whatever involvement they have.
Konami.
Oh yeah, right. We have Survive.
Alright, Chaos, your favorite game, right?
Everybody's excited for that game.
Did you mean garbage?
Yep, garbage with PS2 textures.
I don't know what you're talking about. The game of the year. You're all.
This is how you don't use the Fox engine.
Oh my god. Reference. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. If we're done here.
All right. Okay, so I guess I'll choose the next one. How do you feel about number 9? How do you feel about the DLC content for MGR and the VR missions? I can't even say anything about this because I haven't played the DLC. So
I've seen reviews and some playthroughs of it. They're all right. No, not much good, not much bad to say about either way.
Yeah, real quick though, I didn't mind him too much though, but I honestly did not enjoy playing as Sam. I feel like they could have done more to refine him as a character, playable character. For me, he felt like a more limited writing without any of the special gadgets and whatnot. And plus, him able to charge up his weapon is cool and all, but sometimes you don't get the breathing room to actually do that. Not only that though, he felt too stealth as a character. And sorry if you hear that background noise. But yeah, I did not enjoy playing Sam as much as I would like to. As for what's he called? The Wolf?
Blade Wolf.
Name slips me.
Blade Wolf.
Yeah, Blade Wolf. I actually did enjoy playing his campaign because I was actually forced to do stealth because combat was not his strong suit. So he was actually the best at stealth out of everybody else in the game. So him playing Sam was actually pretty fun as far as stealth elements are concerned. And for the VR missions, I never played them because VR is AIDS. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
In terms of DLC, I never played it, but I have played some of the VR missions. VR missions were basically like, at least from my experience, try and fill this like general quota to try and get a rank. So I remember one was a race, another was trying to kill a certain amount of enemies in like under 20 seconds or something like that. So yeah, they were just little generic things like that. Nothing too special in my opinion.
Yeah, I've been thinking about picking up the DLC eventually, but I just never really got around to it.
Way. Besides the VR missions, the story missions are free.
All right. I don't know if that's. I guess if anybody else wants to go, move on to the next question.
I barely touched the DLC, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right, so fuck. Anybody want to take the next question? We've only got, I think, a few more here.
Yeah, I can go on but use number 10. What is your favorite / least favorite unlockable in the game? Like, for example, skins, modes, secrets, items, etc., etc. You know, the usual shit.
Sombrero.
Yeah.
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
That's the, I think that's the mariachi skin or something.
Yeah.
It's Maria.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely that, or the tuxedo, or the Desperado skin, no, the red and black riding skin. I like to wear that a lot.
I also like the Gray Fox. I used Gray Fox too. Make you look like a cyborg ninja.
You know what he already is.
Yep.
Adios, amigos.
I just put the
As
picture.
for least favorite, I really don't know. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, there wasn't anything too bad. The alternate skins are definitely my favorite.
You know, seeing the picture of that suit outfit makes him look like that. What was that guy's name from the Twisted Metal series?
What?
Oh, Eclipso?
Wait, who are you talking about?
Eclipso, right?
Yeah, him. Just look at this outfit. Yeah, it just looks like him.
It does look like him.
As for the sombrero, well, you can't beat that. Victor makes it look he's going to a goddamn bullfight.
I remember I just ran around with a sombrero, cutting up people.
Just have that in the last cutscene before the fight with Armstrong. Let's dance, amigo.
2 guys in tuxedos, though. You know, that's my favorite scenario.
He should just be speaking Spanish the entirety of wearing that outfit.
Oh, that would have been freaking hilarious.
That would have been awesome, in my opinion.
Oh, that's
Can you
opportunity.
change the dub to Spanish anyway?
Yeah, no, I was about to say change the dub to Spanish.
Change the dub to Spanish, wear the outfit. Perfect.
Freaking having an SAP like text on the bottom too, just for effect.
All right.
Oh yeah, you can't forget about the infinite wig.
the infinite wig.
Infinite supply of fuel cell energy. Broken.
I use it unironically.
I don't.
Infinite
Okay.
Wing Syndicate. Okay.
Zandatsu forever.
Zandatsu forever, man. There'll be nothing left. Literally.
True that.
You're right.
He right. Yeah, he right.
That's right. All right.
Right.
So has everybody answered that question?
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Let's just move
Believe
on.
so.
I'll do the next one. Number 3. To add on to the last question, what are your thoughts on how Platinum Games handled this experience when Kojima ultimately let them take on the project? I think they fucking nailed it.
10 out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I've already given my overall opinion of the game and its combat mechanics. I think Platinum. I mean, I think most of what they do, they seem to be pretty fucking great. So I mean, this is really no exception. It just has really great combat mechanics, and it's just really fun, and that's usually what you can expect from Platinum. So I think they really delivered in that regard.
I'm gonna agree with that. I think they.
I think it's not, is that really all that needs to be said about that?
Well, we can all agree they freaking nailed it.
Yeah.
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 All right. I guess we can. Fuck. Somebody want to take another question? We don't have that much.
Number 5. What are some of your favorite and
that's
least
a good
favorite
question.
boss fights in this game? Explain why.
Favorite Senator Armstrong.
There's
Yeah.
like no bad bosses though, in my opinion.
I'm definitely gonna have to go with Armstrong. Either Armstrong or Jetstream Sam.
I was about to say, with Sam, you got a freaking clash in the desert with motorcycles between 2 swordsmen, nothing more, nothing less. And with Armstrong, well,
You're fighting Hulk, basically.
you're fighting the Hulk with a cool sword You're freaking throwing him into a bunch of rubble, and he still comes out of it. He throws said rubble at you, and you cut it like it's butter.
Butter.
Like butter.
See.
No, the freaking button prompts in that fight are so goddamn flashy. I love it.
Least favorite? I'm trying to think of my least favorite here.
I don't really think there is one, to be honest.
I don't
I think they're all
know.
really good.
I feel like Monsoon might be annoying before you really get the hang of parrying him. Like if you when you first start fighting him, and you're like, because you're not really familiar with what he's going to do, and he's just gonna come at you every time. Once you figure that out, it's not too bad. But like when you first start fighting him, it's like you kind of gotta realize that's what he's gonna do, because if you don't, and you're gonna have a bad time. So I don't know. I guess I'll go with that. Yeah, I remember not caring too much for Sundowner at first. I don't really remember too much about his boss fight though.
Oh, Sundowner is like so easy, man. It's not even funny. Just cut his shields out.
Yeah, once you figure out, you just
got.
gotta cut his shield. It's not like, I mean, the same thing with Monsoon. Like, at first it seemed annoying, but then when you figure out like the gimmick behind it or whatever, then it's like, oh, so then it's not really that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if there was one bad boss fight, I think it'd be Sundowner. He's kind of annoying and just boring sometimes.
I wouldn't to call him bad either, but still, though, he's probably the weakest one there.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because I don't think this game has terrible boss fights. Most of them are really good. It's just Sundowner's a bit boring and, as Renegade said, gimmicky. Because it wasn't really that fun to me, in my opinion. It's just chuck on the shield and then hit him. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody else have any opinions about this?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Somebody else want to take another question on the document? I think we only have 2 more questions to go. So, yeah, we've only got 15 and 16. I think. Yeah. Somebody want to take either one of those? Going once.
Well, Renegade, do you?
Whoa. Yeah, totally.
Someone should take 15. Someone read it off.
Oh,
Totally, guys. I totally want to say
I'm
something.
going to read. What would you personally want? Sorry, what do you personally want if they ever made a sequel to Metal Gear Rising?
I kind of answered some of this. I said I would want. I mean, because I did say I'd want them to use some of the unused concepts for the initial build of MGR.
Metal Gear Solid Rising.
Yeah. I don't know, honestly, because like the first game has because it's just it's not entirely conclusive. Obviously, there's still some stuff they could do, but it feels like there's so much that just kind of gets wrapped up in that, and I don't know. The only thing I could assume is they would just introduce new enemies. But it's hard. It would be really hard for them to like live up to some of the characters in Rising, in the first Rising, I think. So I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of agree, because it's kind of hard to always keep improving your own standards to the point to which you can't even keep up with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure, and I mean it's mostly because I mean, it doesn't. Well, I was gonna say it's because the story's been wrapped up in 4, but I mean, you could still. There's still stuff you could do. Yeah, I just don't know. I'm not sure if at least story wise. In terms of like combat, yeah, they could. Like I already said, they could use some of the unused stuff from their initial build, like the destruction mechanics. They could somehow implement that. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not sure. Other than just them kind of bringing over some of the stuff they didn't use for the first game. I'm not really sure what they could do in terms of like a plot, in terms of continuing the plot. or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know, unless somebody else has any ideas of what they could do for like a sequel.
Well, what they can't do really is expand upon Raiden's last ideals, because he kind of went on his own to take down other like NPCs. What's it called? There's other military companies, so they could expand upon that and have him like him versus the world, basically.
Yeah.
It's not impossible because they did it for American Solid for so many years. So I mean, oh, sorry, I hit myself by accident. So yeah, it's not impossible for them to actually, surpass their expectations with the next game. So yeah, there's quite a few they could do it right though, but as long as they don't like go overboard, like make like 6 games. So
well, I mean, this is Konami we're talking about though, so.
Well, no, this is new Konami. They're not going to do this. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be pachinko.
That's another
machines
factor
inside.
to consider. We're talking about new Konami without Hideo Kojima, so I don't know what they would do. I'm almost afraid of what they would do if they were to make another Rising.
It'd be another zombie game, probably.
Most likely.
That plays like ass and has loot boxes
Nano machines, son, they revive you from the dead.
for $2.99 a piece.
Yeah, it would turn into EA to where everything, to like a Second Life costs a bunch of money.
new Zendatsu mode or something, you have to pay for it.
You want nano paste? That'll be $5.99
Either that or you have to grind.
for hours.
All right, well, I think we've mostly answered that. I'll do the last one if we're done with the number 15.
Oh yeah, we're done. Go ahead.
Okay, so number
we're done with
16. To close out this podcast, how did you feel when you finally beat MGR, and what defined the experience for you personally to say it's good or it's a good or bad game?
When Ryan... Go ahead, sorry.
You can go.
Alright. As soon as Raiden threw a Metal Gear Ray up in the air and cut it in half. That made me happy. That pretty much determined it for me, at least.
Renegade says the memes, Jack. What I say is I'm glad Raiden got more backstory. That's personally what I like about this game.
Yeah, I like that Raiden got more backstory. I like that he got more character. I like that it's just basically it's just its own thing. You really don't have to play the other games in order to play it. I just when I finally beat it, I definitely felt a sense of satisfaction because I thought the game was just like I said before. It's just the right amount of challenging, and the final, and fighting Armstrong. If you don't know what you're doing, sometimes it can be pretty hard. So yeah, I definitely felt satisfied when I finally beat the game. I thought it was probably one of the best, well, maybe not the best games I've played, but one of the better games I've played recently. So I really was satisfied overall with the game. But it's just one of those games where, like we were talking about a sequel earlier, I don't know how a sequel would work. And especially considering what's been going on behind the scenes at Konami and everything with Kojima, I don't know if we'd ever really get a proper sequel. So I don't know. I mean, I think the game is great as it is. I think if anything, maybe we get like a next gen port of it to next gen consoles or something like that. That'd be fine. I'd like to see that. But yeah, I think it's a great game. I think it's a really fun game. It's fun but challenging, and it has a lot of really unique mechanics, especially Zendatsu, and I think that's probably one of the most memorable parts of the game. And it also has one of the best soundtracks I think that I've ever heard in a game. So yeah, I think it's great. So that's how I felt when I beat the game. I thought it was a really memorable experience. But I would say, yeah, I mean, judging obviously by all that I've said, I would say it's a good game.
I agree with that. Good game.
Oh, yeah, it's a freaking great game. When you see those end credits, it's just like, yeah, I slashed all those robots.
I think the game really excels in making you feel like just a badass ninja. There's not really any other game. I mean, at least that I've
Genji.
played that really.
Overwatch.
Except maybe like Ninja Gaiden.
Raiden's
makes
better.
you feel like a badass ninja.
Raiden better than Genji confirmed?
Genji skin confirmed for Raiden.
Oh my god. Konami probably would sell out that hard. Let's be honest.
Shush.
I would not put it past them.
Yeah.
Does
Probably.
anybody else
You're
have any
probably-
opinion or just anything to say about that last question?
We hate Konami, but freaking buy the game, damn it. Just go buy the. What are you doing? Just go buy the freaking. Go!
Yeah, why are you listening to us? Just go and leave. Just end the video right now. Just go out and buy the game.
Game's probably dirt cheap on Steam.
Pretty much.
Do it now.
Everything's dirt cheap on Steam. That's why people waste so much money on it. That's why I'm broke.
We're all
I live
broke
in
in the
poverty.
Broke bitch.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll do the outros. All right.
outro. Bye.
I guess I'll start with Hayabusa. Where can we find you, man? That's just plug your social media shit.
You can find me on Twitter at Iron Hayabusa, where you will continuously see my friends accuse me of wearing dresses or being a thought.
You're a trap.
People are really gonna question that first part of what you said, probably. So
They're gonna call you a trap. 'Cause it's
That's
true.
okay.
yeah. Okay,
That's
so
okay.
next we have Ebullient Evan.
Okay,
I
for the
fuck that
video
up
and
every time.
editing, can you please post a video of someone pronouncing it? Ebullient. Please. So you can understand how to properly pronounce it, you uncultured swine.
Ebullient.
Name.
I've had people call me a violent, and I cringe so hard. I hate it.
Imbalance.
Okay, I'm gonna go kill myself. Before I do, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. That's it.
Alright, I guess he left.
Okay.
I guess he left. I guess
He went to
left.
go hide out. He went to go hide out at Taco Bell. So
I guess.
Why
he's gonna
Taco
go meet
Bell?
Angry Jose.
he lives
Why
at
He's gonna
Taco
meet
Bell.
Taco Bell?
He's gonna meet Piss Pablo there.
Yeah, he hangs out with Angry Jose.
They're gonna destroy the bathrooms or something.
Yes. Okay, so next up we have Inferno. If you want to plug your shit.
You got it. I'll plug it in right here. You can find me on Twitter at InfernoDragon3D and on YouTube and Twitch at InfernoDragon343. Now go buy the game.
Yeah, we're just gonna
I
spend the
second
rest of the stream chilling. All right, so Renegade, or well, no, actually, fuck Brandon. I'll just go down the line here. Brandon, you wanna plug your shit?
Oh, I'm Brandon, and you can find me on Twitter at Parking504. Oh,
You can find him.
All right.
Find him in Wakanda.
yes.
I heard that faggot. Shut up.
We was Kangs.
We're Kangs, kids.
All right, so next up we got Renegade, who's been sitting mute this entire time like a faggot.
Yes, I've been listening to you. Been listening to your voice. And you have been choking on 80,000 Metal Gear cocks. So you can find me on Twitter at ArcaneMagic514. You can find me on XTube at Indian Pornhub Technology. And I will be coming to your
Wakandian
colonist
technology to
land
access
soon.
that.
I will be the foreigner cyborg dick in this equation. And that's all I have to say.
Jesus fuck.
God.
All right, well, last but not least, we have myself. I was the host of this fucking disaster. My name is Captain Chaos. You can find me at infowars.com. I'm just kidding. You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at Captain Chaos, same name. I regularly post Let's Plays, reviews, unboxings, shit like that. So if you're into that, then definitely check me out, and check me out here on the Infinite Ammo Syndicate. I think that's about gonna wrap it up. That's what she said. Okay, so
Get out.
So Renegade says.
This was an interesting discussion. I liked it. I enjoyed myself. So I thought it was a interesting topic. So
You enjoyed yourself, huh?
thoroughly. But yeah, I hope you guys.
Where's the baby hole?
I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll probably have either another discussion or the main podcast up soon. So we'll look forward to that. And until next time, we will see you all later.